Have you ever clapped for someone you loved, only to realize they were already walking away? My name is Ava. I'm 24. And I spent 5 years building a future with someone who forgot I existed the day he stepped on stage. We met in college. Freshman orientation. I had gotten lost on the way to the library tour, and he offered to walk me there. His name was Jordan. He wore a worn-out hoodie, carried a cheap coffee mug everywhere, and talked about architecture like it was poetry. I was the quiet one. Journalism major. I didn't believe in love at first sight until he made me laugh while pointing out how our campus buildings didn't follow any design logic. We started dating 2 months later. Our relationship became a rhythm: coffee in the morning, class schedules that always aligned, weekends studying in silence together. We made plans, real ones. Where we'd live after graduation. What kind of dog we'd adopt. Which city had better light for our dream apartment. When my father got sick, Jordan held me while I cried on the dorm floor. When his mother passed away, I planned her memorial slideshow. We went through life's hardest days, one after the other. I was never afraid because he made it feel like we were a team, no matter how heavy things got. We were inseparable. A unit. He struggled with his grades, though. Architecture was brutal. He'd have panic attacks at 2 a.m., convinced he wasn't good enough. I stayed up, helped with his models, proofread his proposals, even skipped my own classes to get him through finals. I still remember the night before his final review. We were on the studio floor, surrounded by foam boards and spilled coffee, and he just collapsed into my lap and whispered, "What if I fail again?" I cupped his face and said, "Then we fail together, and we try again together." There were nights we shared ramen noodles by candlelight because the electricity had been shut off. He'd kiss my forehead and say, "One day, we'll laugh about this." I believed him. I believed in us. I kept telling myself, once he graduates, it'll all be worth it. And finally, he did. Graduation day. His name was called. He walked up, shook hands with the dean, and smiled like the world had finally opened up. I stood in the audience, cheering, recording it all. Crying. My hands shook from the weight of everything we had been through. I was so proud of him. But something was off. He barely looked at me in the crowd. After the ceremony, families gathered, friends hugged, cameras flashed. I searched for him. When I found him, he was standing beside a girl I didn't recognize. She was touching his shoulder. Laughing too hard. He was letting her. When I approached, he didn't look guilty. Just distant. "Ava," he said. "This is Claire. She's from my studio group." I forced a smile. "Hi." Claire smiled too. "I've heard so much about you." But I hadn't heard a word about her. The next few days were strange. Jordan didn't answer texts immediately. He cancelled dinner. Said he was tired. Said he was overwhelmed. But when I ran into him near the campus bookstore, he was laughing with Claire, both holding smoothies. I stood frozen, watching them from across the street, and he didn't even notice me. I called him that night. Asked if he had a moment to talk. He sighed. "Ava, I'm just really tired." "Of me?" I asked. "Of everything," he said. Then one night, I opened Instagram. A photo, Jordan and Claire. Sunset. Her head on his shoulder. Caption, "New beginnings." No text. No explanation. I stared at the screen for an hour. My fingers trembled above the keyboard, but I couldn't bring myself to comment. Then I texted him, "Are we still together?" He replied, "I think we need to talk." We met at the campus cafe, the one we used to go to after classes. He looked nervous. She was in his eyes even when he looked at me. "I didn't plan for this," he said. "Claire and it just happened." I nodded slowly. "So I was just practice?" "No. Never. You were everything. You helped me survive." I swallowed. "But I wasn't part of the life you're starting now." He said nothing. I stood up. "I skipped classes for you. I rewrote your essays. I made sure you ate. I gave you 5 years. And you gave her the sunset." He looked down. I walked away. That night, I sat on my bed, clutching the graduation program. His name was circled in pink highlighter. I had drawn a heart beside it weeks ago. My bedside lamp buzzed softly. The city was loud outside, but my room was too quiet. I scrolled through old photos. Us in the snow. Us with bad haircuts. Us when we thought the world couldn't touch us. I remembered the day we wrote our goals on post-it notes and stuck them above our bed. Graduate. Get jobs. Find a dog named Bean. I peeled mine off the wall that night. I took a pen. Scribbled it out. Now, I still believe in love. But not the kind that forgets you the moment the tassel turns. Not the kind that lets you cheer alone. Not the kind that needs a new beginning before the last chapter closes. Not the kind that watches you fall apart and walks away like it's the easiest thing in the world. Have you ever clapped for someone who walked away without looking back? Tell me. Because I don't want to be the only one. And if you're reading this and it's your story too, just know you're not alone. You were never invisible. Even if they made you feel that way.